Well, the months ahead are difficult to predict. That's short term. But for me, gold is still golden. And here's why. The reason gold has really gone down is because the US dollar's gone up. And a lot of that currency exchanges are going into gold. And you're looking at a slowdown in the global economy. You look at the IMF, the Geneva reports, the ECB, one after another. There's a slowdown in Asia. What does that mean? They're all pumping cheap dough into the system to keep propping it up. To me, it's one big Ponzi scheme, and Ponzi at the end always loses. And so too with the US dollar, because look at the debt that they have in the United States. It's up to 18 trillion bucks. How are they going to pay it off? By printing more money? So no, again, for me, gold is for my golden years. I had predicted it would go down another $100 to $150, and it has. But long term, the fundamentals of the global economy are not sound, and geopolitical strife keeps rising. Gold, to me, is going to be that safe haven commodity that people are going to trust. Let's look at what just happened. The Bank of Japan just put in the equivalent of the Federal Reserve pumping in $3 trillion into the economy. Let's not call this capitalism anymore. Let's call it bankism, because that's all that's going on. The Japanese central bank has just juiced the economy to levels not seen before in world history. And not only that, their pension fund is worth $1.4 trillion from another end, dumping half of it into the stock markets. The whole game is rigged. Yes, it's juicing the markets only temporarily, because here's the fact. Abenomics that began 2 years ago was a failure. The Japanese GDP fell some 7% in the last quarter. Hey, failure wasn't good enough? Let's double up on it. Let's call it Abenomics 2. We've been covering oil. We saw the trend develop in June when Brent crude was selling for $115 a barrel. Now it's flirting with around between 80 to 85. This is an enormous fall for oil, and it's telling a big story. It's more than just supply. Sure, there's a lot of supply out there, but it's demand, and demand is down across the board, particularly in China. When you're looking at China's GDP now going back to 1990 levels, and you're looking at recession in Europe, in a lot of the countries in the Eurozone, and things are pretty level back here in the States. Things aren't booming. This is a demand issue, and not only oil, a lot of the commodities. So until demand goes up, oil prices stay where they are or go down a little bit. The upside on oil isn't very bright. Well, it means we're going to see more of a GOP agenda. And what is that agenda? Well, according to initial reports, they're going to start sending that fracking fluid overseas and relaxing that regulation. Look for the Keystone Pipeline to start being built. On to geopolitics. You saw what's going on. They want more fighting against ISIS and more strength in the Middle East, so you're going to see more war talk. And those Iranian sanctions, they're not going to be relaxed. They're going to be toughened once again, so we can see that deal that was being put together with Obama and Iranians scuttled. On the economic front, what are they going to do? Not much. They're going to promise more tax breaks for corporations, but overall it really won't make much difference, because all this election was replacing the inepts and putting in the incompetence. Let's not forget, nothing's happened in this Washington that's been productive in how many years? Not much is going to change. Look what's going on in the news. Listen to Congress in Washington. Are we doing enough to fight ISIS? Do we need more troops in the Middle East? What's going to happen in the Ukraine? How about going into Africa? All it is war talk. There's no peace talk. Take a look at the facts. The United States military has not won a victory since World War II. There's Korea, there's Vietnam, there's Afghanistan, the longest war in American history that keeps on going, Iraq, Libya, one destabilization disaster after another. It's time for peace. We're here in colonial Kingston, New York. Every one of the founding fathers, beginning with Washington, at his farewell address, no foreign entanglements. I believe in the founding fathers and the principles upon which this nation was founded upon. That's why we're launching Occupy Peace. No foreign entanglements. Bring home the troops and rebuild America. Use the money that's going to fighting, killing, and dying to rebuild this country and bring it back to the American dream it used to be. This Occupy Peace project that we're going to be launching on May 2nd at the foremost historic corners in the United States will be like nothing anyone has ever seen. It's a battle plan for peace, a fight for peace rather than dying for war.